Dave in Northridge. Dave, come on in here. Oh, you're a shooting instructor for law enforcement?
I am, and this is kind of driving me crazy because for the party that says they trust the science and they trust the experts, they really haven't talked about what is the science of a deadly force encounter, right? So you have an officer that shows up on the scene. Obviously, there's chaos. He's going to have perception lag. He's going to have auditory exclusion. He's going to be nervous. He's going to have all these things that are going through his mind that are physical reactions. During stress, stimulus response, we have very profound reactions to stress. And so now that the officer's going through that, now we're going to expect him to hit a target that's moving. It's just impossible. And we've tried this. We have moving targets. We have all these things, all these use of force experts that we try to get better. We are constantly trying to be as best as we possibly can. What I tell people when they say, why can't we just shoot him in the leg? I say, well, why can't Mookie Betts hit a home run every at bat, right? He's been trained as a baseball player, right? He's been doing it a while. So I say, would you be okay with cops getting it right 30% of the time? 300 average for baseball players, pretty good. I don't know. It's just driving me crazy.
No, that's
really is.
So well said, Dave. Honestly, and you've reviewed this video footage out of Columbus. You've seen this with the woman with the knife, right?
I did. So here's what's going through the officer's mind. He's got a call that's coming through his radio that says, "Okay, the call's this address. We have a African American suspect with a knife."
Right.
So then he shows up on scene.
Oh, even more than that, not just with a knife, but the call, and I'll let everybody hear it. Here's what the woman in distress says on the 911 call.
The Amy, you can talk to me. It's 3171. We got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put our hands on our grandma. Get here now.
Yeah, trying to fight us, trying to stab us. So it's already a heightened situation that this cop knows she's stepping into.
Correct. So then he's going to get, it's going to flash on his screen, address, knife, possible suspect description, and then he arrives on the location and there's a suspect matching the description with a knife. So what's he going to do? He's going to review his force options, right? So what are his options here? 12 feet away. Could you use a taser? Possibly, but here's the thing about tasers is they're a projectile that's shot out with a CO2 cartridge, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They're highly inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
The chances of you getting two probes into somebody at 12 feet under stress, especially if you're moving, it's possible. It's highly likely that you're going to miss or maybe even get one probe, then it's going to be ineffective, right? So if you miss both times, that was your chance to intercede.
Yeah, you don't have a second shot with that taser. That's
correct.
It. Yeah,
correct. And then
also, if I recall, and I've seen videos of this, depending on the suspect that gets tased, if they've got forward momentum going, if they've got, depending on how heightened they are and how much energy, sometimes those tasers do not completely incapacitate every individual. That isn't necessarily a recipe for keeping the innocent individual from getting stabbed, is it, Dave?
I've had suspects get hit with two probes in good locations and pull them out and then keep coming. I've seen it. It's happened. It does happen.
Yeah.
They're not effective 100% of the time. And one thing I'd like to add is this business where the cops are out there to cover themselves and somehow we want to shoot people. So I'm not going to name the agency, but from the academy through the end of your career, they stressed integrity, accountability, and owning up to your mistakes. In fact, one of my mentors has ingrained this in me that it's the sanctity of human life and how it's a sacred trust the public is placing in us to use deadly force. And that's been stressed to me time and time and time again. And I got to believe that most agencies out there are the same way. Yeah. It's just it's this tough guy mentality where we just want to go out there and guns blazing. It's just not true.
Thank you, Dave. Listen, thank you for lending your voice to this and your expertise. Again, you're self-identified here as a law enforcement officer and also a shooting instructor. And see, Dave, you're the person who should be on cable news commenting about this on a regular basis instead of the idiots that we saw all night last night talking about stuff that they have no idea about. But the sad thing is, because you're on the force, because you have a sworn duty, They don't put you front and center. The actual experts who deal with this on a daily basis are not allowed to talk about this, are you?
They don't want us to because they don't want to hear it. I was talking to a gentleman, African American gentleman, and I was trying to explain these shootings. And I'm going to do this on my own time. Is set up with simunition some scenarios where I'm going to put you in the exact position of the Adam Toledo shooting. I'm going to put you in this position. We're going to run through these things. We're going to do it at night. We're going to do it under the same light conditions and everything, and we'll see how you do. Obviously, not being trained, they're not going to do as well, but they're going to get an idea of, what is reasonably possible.
Yeah, it's really enlightening. I've actually done this for my own educational purposes. I've done a video simulator, Dave, with a lot of different scenarios, including a school shooting scenario, a hostage situation at a movie theater. It's an incredibly realistic, multi-screen surround environment where you have to go through and try to figure out who the good guys are and the bad guys are and save lives, and it is nearly impossible. Dave, honestly, what you and your brothers and sisters who wear the badge are capable of doing and able to do with the training that you have is close to a miracle, considering the conditions you're under, and they're only getting worse. So, listen, again, thank you for everything that you do. Please pass that on to your brothers and sisters. We're trying to have their back here as much as we can.
I will. Thanks. I appreciate it, Larry.
That is Dave in Northridge, if that's his real name, law enforcement and shooting instructor.